Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast, brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network, and of course, sponsored by the amazing Morgan Trinkets. My name is Keith Brugman. I'm going to be your host tonight, but I'm not alone. We were talking back right before we went on. I can't remember the last time this has happened. It's a Brugman and Dutchie show. Only a Brugman and Dutchie show. I think the last time we had one of these, well, it was one of the most amazing shows ever. I can't remember it, but I think it was. Albert, welcome to the show. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent, and we should all be feeling excellent because we have a win over the 2-0 Tampa Buccaneers. Nobody expected that one.
Hey, go ahead.
No, that was amazing. I saw the game yesterday. I'm not able to watch live games because of work, but I saw it yesterday, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Albert's neighbors are all wondering why he's hooting and hollering on a Monday. Well, it's because he's rewatching that Broncos game, man. That was something to watch, man. That was something to watch right out of the get-go, man. Telling you what, kind of like we're getting right out the get-go. Mr. Ernie Mays coming in here and saying, hello, Keith and Trevor and Jody and Dutchie and Jody. Jody gets twice. Go Broncos country, only go Bo Nix for 6. Yeah, we saw a little bit of Bo Nix for 6, right? A little bit of Bo Nix for 6. We're still waiting on one type of Bo Nix for 6, but we got him running in the ball for a touchdown, which was pretty cool to see. Good evening, all, says Scott. Good evening, Scott, man. Good to see you over on YouTube. We appreciate the support over there. And Facebook, Ernie Mays coming in again saying hello, Keith and Dutchie. He edited it down. It's just for me and you now. Krabs coming in over on YouTube saying hello, fellas. And Roy saying, hey there, horsemen and the posse. Nice to have a win. Don't get too excited. It is a step in the right direction. And Pearl of the amazing Morgan Trinket saying hello, all. And Scott, just getting kind of caught up, says both offense and defense played a reasonably complete game. Yeah, good sum up there for everybody. I think there's some excitement to be had, maybe a step in the right direction. Don't get too excited. Offense and defense look good. But, man, like I said, right out the gate, this was a different game plan, Albert. One of the things that we'd seen was the dink and dunk that I've been talking about, all the bubble screens right out behind the line of scrimmage within 5 yards. Where does the first pass go? Right down the field. How do we march? Right down the field. What do? We score a touchdown. What did we do that off of? Winning the coin flip, and rather than going on defense, going on offense first. Albert, talk about the way that we came out in Tampa Bay saying we're going to take this game.
Yeah, I think the strategy was very good. They were aggressive, and it is so much easier to play a game if you're ahead than if you have trying to catch up. And I think that is one of the best decisions we have seen so far from Sean Payton. I think it was an excellent decision, and nobody expected it. Tampa Bay didn't expect it. So I was pleasantly surprised, and the strategy worked.
It did. It put them on their heels, and it was a bold strategy. I mean, you're out there, you're on the road. You know, you're trying to make a statement. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. But I tell you what, I think Sean Payton said it best, man. I'll probably repeat this 16 times throughout the podcast. I guarantee it. He said, it's our job as coaches to paint the perfect picture for this player, speaking of Bo Nix. And I think all the struggles that we had seen through week 1 and week 2, and everyone's saying, Sean Payton, in Payton we trust. Are we sure? Are we sure? Is that what we want to be doing? He seemed like him and the offensive gurus got their heads together. And when they went down to Tampa Bay, they put together a plan that looked fantastic. They painted the perfect picture for Bo Nix. He knew what he was going to see. It was a paint by number. That's what it was. He just needed to know he needed to, pick out the right color and put it in the right spot at that point. It seemed like everything was dialed up, dang near perfect. Bo Nix looked like he was poised Don't say confident. If you've seen Sean Payton's post presser, don't talk about Bo Nix's confidence. He has confidence. We'll talk about his poise. Talk about the way that it just, like I said, for me, the way that it came out, man, was something else, completely different than what we saw in prior weeks, week 1 and week 2.
Yeah, and what we definitely saw was an offensive line that was holding together without McClinchy. I think Alex Palchevsky did so much better than McClinchy, and I think maybe that is one of the reasons they needed a little bit of a change, and that happened. And the entire O line, I think they did excellent. Yeah, Bulls had a hold. Who
Yeah.
cares? Our quarterback did not get sacked. And that was the most important thing. Those the 10 yards, I think they recovered really quickly, and I didn't see a big problem with it. Our O-line was excellent.
I'm going to hit the comments real quick. The one thing that I noticed was this was game planned well. If you look how quick the ball came out of Bo Nix's hands, they didn't necessarily rely on that offensive line to hold. Heck, they were getting him outside the pocket. Heck, they were scheming up run plays for Bo Nix within this game plan that worked very well. So I like that we didn't necessarily rely on this offensive line, but when we did, they were not that bad. They were not bad at all. I think that it's a fair assessment. Got to hit the comments, though. Got to say hello to Jeremy saying, sup, fellas, go Broncos. Absolutely, man. Getting a win when you didn't expect it, man. Just when we thought you couldn't get any worse, you go and do something to completely redeem yourself, So congratulations to the Broncos getting it done on the road versus a 2-0 team. No one expected being 6.5 point underdogs in this game. Michelle Knoppers, we know her. Woot woot. Evening, gents. Good evening, Michelle. So good to see you over on YouTube. Ernie has a little bit of a point. I think the refereeing in this game was not that great on either side of the ball. I think there were some more calls that could have went against the Broncos as well. I think there was some sketchy calls at the goal line for both Tampa Bay and the Broncos. It wasn't the best called or best refed game I saw so far this year on all sides, but he's saying they were miserably soft. Jody, one of the horsemen coming in. Appreciate you, Jody. Sorry you can't be here. Love that you're in the comments, buddy, saying Knicks looked great Sunday. I think a lot of people were excited about the way that Knicks looked. I'm going to use poised until I get a better descriptive word rough right now. Kenny Kirkpatrick of the amazing K&K Sports Show. They've got a little all-in high school sports show going on as we speak. If you head over there, that's just a little taste of what they do. They have a little bit of everything: Giants, Broncos, you name it. Check out K&K Sports Show. He's saying, "Evening, fellas. Congrats on the victory. Amazing what a win can do to a fan base. Happy for everyone." And then we have Mr. Phil McLaughlin coming in. And I got to get caught up, see on a side screen if we see any stars. Phil always reminds me of if there's stars possibly out there. But he's saying, good evening, Keith and Dutchie. Are you ready to beat Hackett? Really would be exciting. Albert, I'm going to flip this right over to you, man. That's the next stop on this hard leg of a road trip in which we went out there and we just, said, forget everybody. You say that we have no chance of winning this game? Yeah, well, we had probably one of the most impressive wins on the weekend, 26-7 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, playoff bound in most people's opinion, Buccaneers. Now we got to take on the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers, that feared defense. We're on the road still. It really would be nice. Really would be exciting. Are you ready? Do you think this Broncos team is poised and ready to do something like beat the New York Jets in the Meadowlands?
I think they can definitely beat them, and they're already working on a strategy right now. They stayed on the East Coast and to acclimate, so they didn't go back to Denver. So they stayed there, and I think that's part of the strategy: get acclimated, and that's what they're doing. And the Jets are not an unbeatable team. I think we already have faced the two strongest defenses right now in the market, uh, by the Seahawks and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hmm.
And we didn't do bad there. Yeah, we didn't have wins, but those were two very, very strong defenses. And in my opinion, those were close games. And I think the Jets are not that great as the Seahawks or the Steelers in defense at the moment.
That might be a fair assessment. You look at as far as yards allowed. Now, I don't know if this says as much for our opponents as it may be the Denver Broncos, but that being said, Seattle Seahawks, Pittsburgh Steelers, and then the Denver Broncos, that is your top three as far as yards allowed per game in the NFL right now. So we know what we've got. We know what we went up against in those two teams in week 1 and week 2. I think there's something to be said that we are not only went up against some of the toughest defenses, but we are one of the best defenses. And that's why what I will get to, Phil, am I ready to beat Hackett? Yeah, I think I am, because this secondary has been doing amazing. This defensive line has been doing amazing. And quite honestly, we were going up against now the least mobile quarterback so far on our schedule in one Aaron Rodgers, an older, coming off an injury Aaron Rodgers. Now, he's quick on the release, so our corners have got to be good on this game, but they've shown to be good. So whether we're batting away balls, getting interceptions like we saw in this last game, or just getting in the face of Aaron Rodgers where he's not quite accurate, I think we have opportunities in this game from a defensive side, especially as we head into New York. We'll be breaking that down more on Friday as well, but it's a great question. It sure would be nice to beat Hackett and get that one. Maybe we can send a little bit of a petty game ball over to him if we win. Graham saying, we were talking about this. You were talking about this as well right before we went on the air, Albert, but Graham's coming in over on YouTube saying DeAndre Tillman is a stud. And that might be one of those guys that are key as we head into New York. He was key in Tampa Bay. Do you have that stat line for me, Albert?
Oh, yeah, I do. Let me pick it up. So he had 3 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 3 QB hits, and that comes with 2 sacks as well on only 20 snaps. Only 20 snaps. So what would have happened if he had played the entire game? I think the defense would have picked him up and double teamed him because he was the biggest, and then that would open it up for other players. I think in total we had 7 sacks.
Yeah.
That's the 22nd time in Broncos history that he have 7 or more sacks.
Doesn't happen often, buddy. Doesn't happen often. That's not even once per season that you're averaging there. So, that's like once every other season at that point, So, yeah, it doesn't come around all that often that you get that opportunity to put up a stat line like 7 sacks. You're reading out his stat line, just 2 sacks in a game. Hey, most defensive linemen, if they are outside linebackers, if they get 2 sacks in a game, they're feeling pretty dang good. He did it within 20 minutes.
20 snaps.
Within 20 snaps. I'm sorry, 20 snaps. Well, probably less than 20 minutes as far as that's concerned then. 20 snaps. But, the thing that as we were talking, watching that all 22, got to take a look at this, this defense is playing well underneath VJ. You all got to admit it. His defense is out there looking fantastic. The numbers are proving out so far. And this time, it didn't matter. It didn't matter if it was Zach Allen. Didn't matter. I think DJ Jones had his best game out there by far of the 3 games. He was just a menace in this game, and he helped shut down that run game that did have a few runs at times for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, they rattled off a 30-yard run at one point when they were on that run to go get their touchdown and put 7 points on the board. So, but this defensive line, they've all been taking their opportunities. Jackson played very well in this last game. Well, I guess what I'm saying is, and then you have Benito and you have Cooper and and you, heaven forbid, you get Browning back into that rotation, and Welch has actually been looking good, and then you get DeAndre Tillman that's going in there and in 20 snaps he's getting 3 tackles and 2 sacks and quarterback hurries and hits, and it's tough to sometimes find room and rotation to get all these guys in. It's a fantastic problem to have, Albert, I guess is what I'm getting at. It's a fantastic problem to have all the talent that VJ seems to have right now at his disposal to put on the field and give pressure, because it seemed like it was nonstop. Let's talk a little bit about the defense. We talked a little bit about Bo Nix and the offense, but talk a little bit more about this defense, buddy.
Yeah, so last year with the third game, we would all have lynched VJ, wouldn't we? And now he is
Yes.
one of the top. He's one of the top defensive coaches in the league. And so yeah, what VJ is now producing, it is and almost beyond words, because they are doing so well, and with the most people with mediocre players, average players in most cases. We have a couple exceptions. For example, PS2, of course, he is one of the top corners.
Yeah.
But what do
we went out and we paid for Zach Allen. We went out and paid for DJ Jones. But you start looking at some of those other pieces, you're absolutely right. PJ Locke's out there playing great. And, Tillman that we just got up talking about. Go ahead. I'm sorry, but.
And let's not forget Alex Singleton.
Mm-hmm.
He is playing lights out. And my prediction of 170 tackles this year, he's way on schedule. He already has 31 tackles this year in 3 games. So that is 10 tackles per game. And yeah, I'm really pleased to see how the defense is doing, and even unknown names, McMillian,
Yeah,
Riley Moss, PJ Locke. You have seen him, and then DeAndre Tillman, Alice. They are all playing extreme. Baron Browning is not missed. We can play like if we can play like this without Browning. We don't need him. He is a name. If he puts it on the field, of course, that makes it easier for everybody else. But as we have seen, we don't need him. So I'm really surprised of and yeah, what Scott says, Brandon Jones, he is a highlight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna throw that up there too.
Yeah, he is a highlight, and yeah, I think this defense could be, if they keep it up, be the top 3 defense of the year.
Yeah, 100%, buddy. Right now, they're trending top 5 to be a top 5 defense. You pointed out, you saw the comment over on the side, Scott saying Brandon Jones was on fire. Yeah, Brandon Jones has been flying around ever since he took the field. There was a lot of questions about Brandon Jones. He was injured, didn't get a whole lot of time in training camp, didn't get a whole lot of time in the preseason. We're just going to roll with Brandon Jones and think it's going to be okay. Well, yep, we are. And he's been doing pretty dang good. He's been a great support in the run. He's been there, obviously, in the passing game, as we saw the interception in this last game. Man, a little more patience, he might have had a blocker be able to roll out in front of him and spring him to the corner, and we would have had a touchdown too. But that's okay. That's okay, Brandon. It's all right. That's why you play defense, not offense, like they said. I wanted to get to a few more comments because I'm falling way behind. I got to get to Rich Coin, because that's a new name for me, coming in over on Facebook saying Denver all day, giving us the big flex right there. Appreciate it, Rich Coin. Hope you enjoy the show. Thanks for being part of the posse. Welcome to the group. So Pearl saying she missed the game as well, but dang, it made her day to hear about that W, and it sure does, man. Graham's again saying that the pass rush has just absolutely come through. Roy's coming through and says, I agree, Ernie. I did see that come across the league. I did see quite a few hip toss tackles that were not a call on the games that I watch. Oh yeah, the old hip drop tackle. That's what it is. Hip drop tackle. That's now illegal. So saying that maybe people are soft. We want to get Aaron Rodgers to shut up. I haven't heard the trash talk. I've been a little bit busy, but it sounds like Aaron Rodgers is making his ways around. Pearl is asking, how good is that Jets offense? And as Roy said, they're solid and they have good wide receivers. The one thing I'll say is that offensive line has been not the best for them. Now, that being said, Breece Hall is a running back among running backs, and that's something that scares me probably more than the wide receivers as we look forward to this game. But I want to look back. I still want to get back to this game, man, because we talked a little bit about Bo Nix, but let's start talking about some of the receivers that did get involved in this game. It was nice to see Courtland Sutton out there doing more than maybe blocking and getting a catch or two. He seemed like he was highly involved in this game as well. We saw a few different wide receivers, but I'll let you kind of take the mic, Albert, and start running on wide receivers and wide receiving or receiver options that we saw this last Sunday in this win.
Yeah, Bo Nix was spreading the wealth. He had 9 different receivers who caught a ball. And some of them, I am really surprised. Courtland Sutton got some nice catches.
Yeah.
McLaughlin caught one. What is the other one again? Humphreys had a really nice one.
Yes.
But with
Highly
the
involved.
number one, what was his name again? It's not Courtland Sutton, but the other one. We got him from the
Josh Reynolds.
Josh Reynolds.
Yeah.
I think he is our number one receiver.
Well, he had 2 receptions for 36 yards compared to Sutton's 7 for 68, but he has some nice catches. He definitely has some nice catches, man.
And then the Josh Reynolds, and he wants to keep going after the catch. He is not dropping down immediately, and I think Sutton is getting better at it as well. But yeah, I think with this receiver core that we have, we could have a mass attack coming anytime. And I saw Marvin Mims coming in with, so that was nice to see Marvin Mims in play. So yeah, but let's not forget our special teams. Our special teams is doing excellent as well, and we always forget to talk about them, but they're doing excellent. But yeah, our receiving core, I think, is getting better and better. And will we get 1,000-yard receiver? Maybe, but I think we will have 4 or 5 that maybe have 800 yards. Because it is going everywhere, and instead of just one target. And I think that is what I really like to see.
Yeah. Stat line, just to kind of give you an idea, Courtland Sutton 7 for 68. Little Jordan Humphreys, I like the way he's playing, man. He just recently got elevated to the 53. He's no longer on the practice squad. That means he's getting those game checks every single week, guaranteed NFL game checks. Congratulations to him. He went out there. He played like at 6 receptions, 37 yards. We talked about Josh Reynolds and his 2 for 36. I'm going to skip over one. I'll read the rest of the stats because I'm going to go back to the last one. 1 for 13 for Adam Troutman. That was a big one at the moment. Troy Franklin, like we said, got involved. 2 for 11. Marvin Mims, 1 for 9. Leo McLaughlin, 1 for 7. And Nate Atkins, 1 for 6. The one I wanted to get back to, the one I skipped over, was a guy that I know he's taken a lot of heat, and there's been calls to have him possibly replaced within the lineup as we have a fairly decent room behind him, I guess is the best way to put it. But what I saw in the receiving game, and especially what I saw in the pass blocking game, I have a hard time finding a replacement, and that's Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams in this game from a from a receiving standpoint, I should say, 4 receptions for 29 yards in this game. Now, everyone will want to talk about the rushing side of things. Javonte Williams, 5 attempts for 12 yards. So that's not great, especially when you add in a fumble on top of it. But I guess if we want to get into the negative side, let's talk a little bit about Javonte Williams, the production that we're not seeing, and is it time for a change, and do we have a replacement for him in your opinion, Albert?
I don't think so. Pookie needs to stay in there. Pookie will get better because he needs to find his confidence again, and I think it's not there yet. And the more, if he still gets snaps and that kind of stuff, once he breaks through one of them and has a major play, I think things turn around for him as well. He needs to get a confidence again, and and it will happen. I really like what the Pookie is doing because he is a bruiser. Even although he doesn't get far, guess what? He is still weakening that defense because they are lining up for him, and he is wearing them out. Even although he doesn't get far, and every time when he lines up, defenses are gonna focus on him because it will happen at some point.
Yeah, there's some call for maybe a Tyler Beatty to get a run. He did look pretty good. He went 9 carries for 70 yards with a 43-yard long. That means, that's 27, or I'm doing the math all wrong. Yeah, 27 more yards on 8 carries. So maybe not the best average when it came outside of that one long run, but Tyler Beatty might be an option to throw out there. I like what I'm kind of seeing in the comments as a possible option as well. Paul's coming in and saying Pookie is the new Pirine. Pirine was used in a lot of third down. Pirine was used as a receiver. Pirine was great as a pass blocker. That's a lot of the things that Pookie is doing well right now, and that might be an option to get him out there. I don't want to telegraph. I don't want to telegraph what we're doing. Oh, Tyler Beatty's back there, it's a run. Oh, Javonte's back there, it's got to be a pass. No, you know what I mean? We can't be that, easy to read. Honestly, I thought about this, Albert. I thought about this a lot after this game went down the way it did. And I think this game, Sean Payton was motivated. We had it in our chat one of our last podcasts and everyone heard about the Pittsburgh Steelers laughing, saying they knew the game plan, they knew it was coming, they weren't afraid, they knew how it was going to play out, and it was easy for them. I think Sean Payton took that to heart, and when he game planned for Tampa Bay, he came about it completely different. I think he was motivated to go out there and not be predictable. And I think if we get too much into that situation where we always saw Pirine come in and then it was a predictable pass, we're going to be having issues. It was, a lot of people pointed to the stats in that last, I think it was the first game, about how often that if we were in shotgun, we were passing, and how often if we were under center, we were running the ball. It was way, way too predictable. You saw in this game, there was a lot of motion where we were handing off out of shotgun, where we were pulling the ball and throwing it, we were rolling out off of it. There was a lot of things that were happening that made it very unpredictable. Just need to make sure you keep that in mind as well. So Jeremy's coming in and saying Javonte is a good pass blocker, but Beatty is our guy. I got a little stat for you, or a little bit of drop of knowledge. I got to get this in real quick because I saw this. I just thought this was amazing. Most people don't realize that Tyler Beatty didn't come directly to the Denver Broncos. He came via the Baltimore Ravens. He was selected out of Mizzou. But do you know who his quarterback was his freshman year in Missouri?
Drew Lock.
You got it, buddy. Drew Lock was his quarterback. What a weird tie. Way to man. That's why he has Nopper's knowledge. We got to bring that back here pretty soon too. He has the knowledge, man. And I'm telling you what, Albert, you may have the knowledge, but if you're looking for Southwest jewelry, Southwest pottery, and estate gold at wholesale prices, do you know where to go?
Yep.
Where do you
Morgan
go,
Trink
buddy?
Morgan Trinkets. And I
Yeah,
went there and got something for my wife. And the thing is, the shipping and handling is so quick.
nice. Little first-hand testament. That's right. Morgan Trinkets is your headquarters for Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, estate gold at wholesale prices. 33 years experience in the business, once a nationwide company, now just in your backyard. Northern Colorado, Southern Wyoming, they do shows all the time. You can find them, though, over on Facebook, all their wonderful inventory, nice little message box where you can talk to Pearl, and you can find that perfect piece, and you could have it shipped really quick, just like Albert did as well. Anything that's done over on Facebook is a PayPal purchase, and any PayPal purchase over $50 is shipped absolutely free. If you happen to catch them at one of their amazing shows, well, dang, you get to use any type of major credit card that you would like, and you walk home with your purchase that day. Check out Morgan Trinkets. I'm telling you, beautiful, beautiful pieces. They just got some new native pieces in with gold, and that typically doesn't happen. Usually a lot of silver in native pieces. Beautiful pieces. Check them out. Morgan Trinkets, our wonderful sponsor. I'll drop the link. And yeah, we'll get back to the show. But you got to check out Morgan Trinkets. Don't forget. Albert, I guess, we could talk a little bit more about, offense, defense. But really, I want to talk a little bit more even about this coaching. Like I said, I think this is, I dropped an article over on Rocky Mountain Sports Network, and I think this is finally the Sean Payton we've been waiting for. The Sean Payton we've kind of expected for a long time, coming out, taking that coin toss, taking the ball, long passes, quickly down the field, going up 7-0, getting the ball back. Basically, well, we had one punt, but getting the ball back again, going back down, going up 14-0, keeping the pedal down. This is the Sean Payton there, I think, that every single one of us have been wanting and waiting for, along with a VJ that's, I think, surprised Broncos country, as everyone had him, out the door, ready to move on and bring in Jim Leonard. He's going to be our new DC. This head coaching pair came together so well in this game. I think we can't understate that at all.
No, we cannot. And on the morning, Good Morning Football, Peter Schrager, he had him coach of the week. Sean Payton was his coach of the week. And yeah, Payton was aggressive, and he had a different game pattern. The only thing that I do not see often is a 21 or 22 situation, because if they bring that up, I think our defense of offense will be even more dangerous. But yeah, last Sunday, he had a game plan. He stuck to it, and it worked. And we had quite some running going on, and throwing going on, and I think it was a really good mix between the two of them, and give Bo a little bit of freedom as well when the game had to change a little bit. I think it worked, and they were aggressive, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Paul's saying, I love Vance since he was the head coach. Blitzkrieg. Yeah. We are blitzing at a higher rate than anybody else out there. And again, just speaks volumes to what this team is doing on the back end. Not just Patrick Surtain, but Riley Moss. And like I said, Jaleel McLaughlin. How often have Broncos country, how often have you heard, oh, Jaleel McLaughlin, that was his receiver there. That's where that, oh, Jaleel McLaughlin not playing tight enough. Oh, Jaleel McLaughlin with a missed tackle. You're not hearing that. This secondary is playing lights out. Little own PJ Locke coming up and covering on tight ends. Michael Burton hawking back there, getting interceptions. The funny thing is, I think most people would be a little bit surprised that, well, Riley Moss was named PFF Defensive Player Cornerback of the Week for their defensive team. But at the same time, they have PS2 as like the 50th ranked cornerback in the league. I don't know if I can necessarily believe.
I can see that easily that it happened, because if you do not get targeted, how can you make a play?
Yeah,
Riley Moss gets
I get
targeted
it,
pretty every other game.
but you had to show some respect, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I said McLaughlin. I meant McMillan. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
buddy. I do that. I get both of those mixed up all the time. So Graham's like McMillan. Yeah. He said McLaughlin. I apologize,
I know what
McMillan. How often?
I know what you meant.
Well, yeah, but I got a whole listening, viewership out there. Albert, goodness gracious, I need to get that right. Yeah, thanks, Graham. He says we got you, Keith. So, sorry, 90th ranked to be exact. 90th ranked as far as PS2. Are you agreeing with the 90th cornerback in the league? You take 89 cornerbacks before you take PS2. It's why I have such a hard time with PFF and these ranking systems that are somewhat blind, right? Somewhat blind in how they come up with their rankings, right? So, my goodness. PS2, this defense, Vance Joseph, hats off, man. 3 incredible weeks. We got a big favor to ask, though. We need it to be 4. We need it to be 4 incredible weeks because, as a lot of people pointed out, weapons galore. Aaron Rodgers is a MVP, Super Bowl winner, probably one of the better minds in going out there and looking at what you're putting in front of him and being able to diagnose it. We were all happy about what Peyton Manning was able to do, even at the end of his career when he was standing on one leg and had half the arm he used to, because he used to be able to go out there and diagnose what was going on in front of him. I'm telling you what, Aaron Rodgers is along that line, so you still got to be wary, even if he's not playing up to full speed, even if he doesn't have the best offensive line in front of him, he can get it done, and this defense has got to be ready for it. We can talk about the offensive side and whether they can repeat as well, buddy, but the challenge in front of this defense, how do you feel after we went through a tight game in Seattle in which they played very well, amazing game in as far as I'm concerned against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then one touchdown to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road? Do you think they're up to the task? What needs to happen in order for them to keep this Denver Broncos team in the game, to keep them competitive so that we can maybe pull out a second win in a row?
Yeah, what they need to do is keep pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and he is not as movable as the players that we have seen, especially after Justin Fields and Baker Mayfield.
Mayfield. Even Geno Smith running all over the place on us. Yeah, but you're right.
And Aaron Rodgers is not that fast anymore, so they should be able to put him in place, sack him at least a couple times. And yeah, the secondary, they are very, very good. And if they can keep pressure on him, and is Barry Brown coming back maybe?
Possibly. Last I heard, I don't think they put him on the IR. I know that he was possibly a candidate, but hopefully he can stay off that and then be eligible. So
if the defense plays like they played, especially like last Sunday, a win should be very, very, very possible, because Bo Nix is only going to get better and better and better, and the offense is. We saw the offensive line is starting to click, even although McClinchy was not there. But Alex Palczewski is doing excellent. We saw him.
He did well.
And so we have a very, very young team, and they are going to get gel together. And I think we're going to be a team that other than the NFL will have to reckon with, because it is going to happen. And I will see more and more wins, and maybe they will use the same tactic that they had this year. Oh, we will receive the ball, and they will be aggressive, and everybody has to catch up again.
There you go, buddy. Roy is wanting to maybe flip the script. That's something we haven't seen. He says get pressure on him with 4, or we're going to get eaten up by or diced up by Rodgers. You know, the one thing that was amazing, I just want to go back because this is usually more a little bit about this last game. The thing that was amazing to me, if you go back, if get a chance, Broncos country, any way you possibly can, go back and watch that game. It looked like the quarterback that was the quote unquote veteran looked like the rookie, and the quarterback that was the quote unquote rookie looked like the veteran in this game. I was really surprised, honestly, the way that Baker Mayfield came out and played. I felt like he looked like he was nervous, looked like he was bailing out of plays too early, even though he had protection within his own pocket. Looked like he was making the wrong decisions a lot of the times, and really put, you know, his team, which had been riding on his back, in a very bad position. Seemed like time after time within this game. You know, it was just so satisfying, Albert. I guess it was just so satisfying to see. It's been a long time since I think that Broncos country have been in that seat where, geez, every time Bo Nix went out there and started a drive, you know, I know that Sean Payton doesn't want to talk about, you know, Bo Nix and his confidence or his lack of confidence or his confidence he has now. But I can tell you, Broncos country, I had confidence. I had confidence as he went out there each time to take the field. I thought every time there was a possibility of a touchdown, and, you know, geez, we had to settle for yet another field goal and we're up by 2-3 scores in the very end. You know, it was an impressive win. It'll be one that I think if we want to move forward, like you were talking about, Albert, it's one where I still think it's going to be on this coaching staff to paint the perfect picture for this player, as Sean Payton said, painting the perfect picture for Bo Nix. I think he did. He went out there and he said, hey, this is what we expect from this defense. These are the type of plays that we're going to run. This is where your first reads are going to be. This is where we're going to expect them how to react. And he painted it so well for him that when he went out there and he saw it all out on the field, it was true. Everything came to fruition. It'll be a lot tougher when you go up against Robert Salah. It'll be a lot tougher against that New York Jets defense. They have a fantastic defensive line. They have one of the best corners out there. They are one of the better teams out there as far as defenses are concerned. So it won't be easy when it comes to Tampa Bay. I think again will revolve a lot around this coaching staff that I'm gonna give all the hats off and all the kudos to. If this was a Bo Nix that threw it for a touchdown, I might have a different story as far as this game. He's that close to getting the big old game ball for me. So
for me, I think what needs to happen is they need to be aggressive, and they can be. And here's the thing: if you score 7 or 8 times out of 10 drives, most likely you win the game. If it is a touchdown or a field goal, you saw it with the 49ers in the first game. They scored 6 field goals. And with those field goals, and I think 1 or 2 touchdowns, I believe, they won the game.
You mean the Seahawks?
No, the 49ers in their first game.
Oh, their first game, not against the Broncos. Okay, very good.
No, not against the Broncos. But if you score two-thirds of your drives, most likely you win the game. Guess what we did?
Good point.
That's exactly what we did. And it doesn't matter if it is a field goal or a touchdown. Yeah, touchdowns makes it easier for you. But when you score pretty much at least 2 of the 3 drives, you win the game.
Yeah. My good friend Jeremy, I think, says it well. He says we've all known, or at least heard, Bo Nix learns from each game. Now let's hope Sean Payton learns from this game. Yeah, I agree. Hats off to him. Like I said, if I'm giving out game balls, I'm going to give one to the coach, because all of last season and through the first 3 games of this season, it's the best game that we've seen from this coach. It's simple as that. Drawn up from the very beginning. It looked good. It looked, a play or two away. And talk about being aggressive, Albert. I don't think we talk enough about this, or maybe it just got overlooked within this game. Going forward on 4th down. Going
Mhm.
forward on 4th down at the goal line, Jaleel McLaughlin, man, I'm telling you what, that guy, he broke that guy's ankles. That toss out to the right, I thought he was dead to rights, Albert. What he did to that poor man on national television should not be done. He broke his ankles, and then the speed, the burst to go that 6 yards and squirt in to the corner of the end zone. My goodness, on 4th down, that was huge. And then the other big one, and give it up to that rookie QB that put it on his back, man, because Bo Nix going forward on 4th down and doing that little delay and going off to the left and running for like 4 yards rather than just barely, rather than just barreling into the back of the line.
Yep.
Like you're supposed to do. He knew it. He saw it. He bailed out to the left. He got like 4 yards out of it, made it an easy 1st down. I'm even wondering if it was supposed to go to Burton, because I think Burton is behind him, and he kind of like follows Bo Nix and kind of gets up like, "Oh, okay, buddy." All right. I thought that was for me, or okay, that was a good play. I didn't think that was going to happen. So, yeah, it was just amazing to see the aggressiveness in this game, but not just the aggressiveness, Albert, the way it paid off, the way this team bought into the fact that it was going to pay off, the way that Jaleel McLaughlin, made sure that he broke that guy's ankles and he got in there. He was not going to be denied. It was just an amazing game from the aggressive standpoint, from the coaching standpoint, and the way they coached this game.
Yeah, but were we 3 out of 3 on 4th down?
Yeah.
And how many 3rd downs did we have? Out of 3 out of 12 on 3rd down. So yeah, we had a higher success rate on 4th down than on 3rd down.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was aggressive. Like I said, they have to be aggressive again with the offense. Hopefully, we'll see a little bit more 2 running backs in the backfield, because I think that will change up things a little as well.
Mm.
But yeah, it was an excellent game, and I really enjoyed it, and it was fun to see. Even the Pittsburgh game, it was fun to see. It was a very defensive game, and it could have gone both ways. And the Steelers just got the better out of us, but it could have gone our way as well. And to see that we only lost 2 games against the top 2 defenses, I think our prognosis and our future might be very, very bright.
Yeah. Well, the bright thing is seeing brand new faces like Alberto, who comes in over on YouTube saying thank you, Alberto. Appreciate you very much coming in and being now part of the posse. So, man, one of the things I wanted to ask you, Albert, as we're getting near kind of the end of the show, right? You've been a part of a team. You were huge soccer, or football, probably over where you played most of your days. This win on the road for a young team, does that help going into New York, or how much does that help, or does that do anything, or should it do anything? Should it just be business as usual? You got work to do. What are your thoughts around a win like this, where you kind of have that unexpected win? And Peyton's been talking about this young team that doesn't know any better and fights hard in these type of situations. But what does it do for this team, do you think, buddy?
What it does to this team is it gives them hope. It gives them hope. But what Sean Payton needs to do is get the team back. They are on very, very, very high, and it can drop really quickly. So they have to focus on this is a new game, brand new day. Okay, win it again, make it happen again, and we will celebrate again. But the next day, you have to sober up and be the best team again that you have to be. That's how you have to play it.
Mm.
Can you? Is there a reason to celebrate? Absolutely, but you have to come down back and be sober again for the next morning because preparations need to be made, and you have to work on that again. Focus on that because it is a brand new game, a brand new day.
Yeah, yeah. You need to put it behind you. New opponent. Celebrate the win today, and move on to the next opponent tomorrow. So Pearl's coming in and saying 100%. Paul's coming in, reminding us that this is a John Franklin Myers revenge game. Probably one of the best additions that we saw right off the bat. By the way, Roach, I think, did an amazing job in this game as well, alongside of, like I said, DJ Jones, his best game in the 3-game span that I've seen. I would say that wouldn't have taken a lot for DJ Jones, but he really did outstanding against Tampa Bay in this game. Jeremy Dressler, going back to that Jaleel McLaughlin TD, saying that he loved it as well. And then there was one more that said he already had the corner. He just decided to make that guy a fool. So I don't know about that, but I tell you what, he certainly did. He certainly did. Albert, I'm so pleased when we can get together, man, talk a little bit of Broncos football, man, and really reminisce about a win. I didn't think this necessarily was coming. I don't know if hey, in our last show leading up, I was the sole predictor of a 17-14 win. We went way beyond that, played well beyond that. I thought it was a possibility. But it's going to be tougher, I think, going forward. I think that Jets are a little bit more well-rounded opponent. Don't rely on so many explosives, and they can actually hurt you in a lot of different ways. So, a great game plan is going to be necessary as we move forward. But we put one together in Tampa Bay. And, man, I'm telling you what, like you said, man, right before we went live, how can we not feel good, man? A Denver Broncos win, man. Let's love it. Let's enjoy it. I know it's not W Monday, it's W Tuesday, but we get to ride this all the way till Sunday. Put on your jerseys, feel good about your Denver Broncos, and honestly, feel good about going in against the New York Jets. We'll break it all down on Friday, but let's start wrapping it up, Albert, as we all get out of here. I know that you might have some final words, and then you always like to say goodnight to the posse as well.
So today I do live in Cheese Kingdom. That's what they call here. So it is tough to be here, but I enjoy it, and my car is completely has the Broncos logos on it and stuff. And today we came out of the store, and a couple little boys, 11, 12 years old, came by and says, "We're gonna win the Super Bowl this year." 2 little boys.
Oh, nice.
So he says the Broncos are the best, and so that was really, really fun. Yeah, so it is a good time to be a Bronco fan. I think the future can be very, very bright with this. If it is not going to happen this year, it's going to happen next year. Remember, Sean Payton is a 3-year plan, and if we make the playoffs this year, I think it is a very, very successful. If we get a 9-8, I think we are very successful, better than what we did last year.
Oh yeah.
But I definitely think we're going to have a winning season, and we already have a winning season. How can we not have a winning season with the posse? Because they make our lives so easy. It is fun to be interactive with you guys, and the questions you have. It makes our lives easier. I keep repeating myself, but it is just true. I want to thank Ernie, Scott, Graham, Roy, Pearl, Jeremy, my lovely wife Michelle, Jody, Kenny, Phil, Patrick, Rick Coyne, and Alberto Fleischer, two new faces of names that we have not seen before, and Paul. Thank you guys for being on the posse. It makes our lives so much easier, and it is fun to be interacting with you guys. And keep it up.
Yeah, Albert, I'll be honest, because we get to see the little stats. Man, we had a lot of viewers tonight. A lot of viewers, and we appreciate everyone. Please like, please share, please subscribe. You reach out to people like Rick Coyne and Alberto that came in here and was a part of our fantastic show, chiming in, being part of the posse. We love to grow, and make this a big old community where every single person is welcome. Appreciate Phil's dropping some stars early in the show, showing a little bit of support above and beyond. You guys are amazing. Paul's coming in here and saying, yeah, baby, that's the type of place we are, man. A big old community, Broncos country right here. And we appreciate you being a part of it. We appreciate, well, honestly, a lot of times you guys running the show because your comments, your questions, your thoughts, just fantastic, man. It's what makes, as Albert says, our jobs, our lives that much easier. And I would say just that much more beautiful, man. It's beautiful coming in here and talking with you every single time. That being said, make sure you catch every single broadcast. You can like, share, subscribe, but also hit that notification bell. That way you never miss a show. But we go live every Tuesday, every Friday, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And of course, right after the game, we have kind of that gut reaction, that live, guttural feeling as we're all coming out. It was nice coming out with a win this Sunday and then getting going live and talking with all of you. So make sure that you check it out. We appreciate all the love and support. We get out of here. If you've never been here, Alberto, Rick Coyne, this might be new for you, but this is how we do it. Make sure you keep your feet in the stirrups, your guns in your holsters, and as always, keep the Denver Broncos in your heart. Until next time, we're out here. Have a great night, everybody.